Rintaro was a 16-year-old high school boy with scary looks, who studied at a low-tier school. However, his life changed when he fell for a cute girl from the elite school next door. The story kicks off when two guys are cornering three high school students, blaming them for bumping into them. The redhead tries to explain, very politely might I add, that they were actually the ones who bumped into them, but these guys aren't done yet. They suddenly ask about their blonde-haired friend. Apparently they wanted to fight him because he scared their junior. The redhead instantly gets it. He knows exactly who they're talking about. It's Rintaro, and he calmly tells them he'll be here any moment. Right on cue, one of the guys turns back and boom, he sees Rintaro. Instant fear, like full-on panic mode, was just trying to apologize in case his friends did something rude. They ran. Then Rintaro tells his friends, stop bothering people. But the redhead, Uzami, immediately fires back, hey, we are the victims here. Then with a completely straight face, but it was your fault for scaring his junior. That's when it all clicks. Rintaro suddenly realizes what this whole situation was actually about, and he reveals the truth in the most Rintaro way possible. Last night, he saw a guy getting slapped by a girl. Feeling bad for him, he went over to check if the guy was okay. But when the guy turned and saw Rintaro's face, he just screamed. Then, they come across a group of girls from the neighboring Kikyo high school. But the moment the girls see their faces, boom, disgusted looks all around. Why? Because they're from Chidori High School, the one everyone says is where only idiots go. One of the girls drops her handkerchief. Uzami, trying to be a gentleman, picks it up and politely tries to return it, but the girl just glares and says, you can throw it away, your dirty hands touched it. Yep, that's the level of snobbery we're dealing with here. Uzami, completely unfazed, confidently says, those girls were just flustered by my good looks. Sure, buddy, let him have his moment. But then we learned something interesting. The girls from Kikyo High actually hate all the students from Chidori. Like, genuinely. They even go as far as keeping their classroom curtains closed, just so they don't have to see their faces. Rintaro, of course, doesn't care much about all that. He's got bigger things on his mind. After school, he runs straight home, because he has to help out at his family's bakery. When he arrives, he asks his mom, isn't it bad if I help out? Won't I scare away all the customers? His mom casually replies, we only have one customer right now. And then she leaves. Iconic. Rintaro starts working at the bakery, quietly thinking to himself, I never even told my friends my family owns a cake shop. It's a pretty sweet secret. Then, curious about their one and only customer, he heads out to check who it is, and he's shocked. Sitting there, completely zoned out, is a cute small girl, just devouring an entire tray of family-sized cakes. Like, she wasn't just snacking, she was on a mission. But the second she sees Rintaro, her face goes bright red, and she bolts, just takes off in a panic like she saw a ghost. Rintaro, being Rintaro, naturally thinks, I must have scared her too, poor guy. His scary face strikes again. Later, Rintaro tells his mom about what happened. She smiles and says, oh, that was Waguri-san. She's a regular customer and we're actually good friends. Rintaro immediately apologizes. She probably won't come back. I scared her, but his mom shakes her head. No, Waguri's not that kind of girl. Then she gently adds, stop blaming yourself for everything. And with that classic mom energy, she says, leave it to me. I'll make sure she comes back again. The next day, Rintaro finds himself thinking about the whole thing. His friends notice something's off. They ask him if something's bothering him, but he doesn't say anything, just gives a small smile and walks off, keeping a little distance. Later that evening, Rintaro's chilling in his room, when suddenly, his mom bursts in like a whirlwind. Rintaro! Waguri wants to meet you! Rintaro heads downstairs to meet her, ready to apologize for what happened the day before. But before he can even say anything, Waguri nervously holds out a plate and offers him a slice of cake. His brain is still stuck in shock mode, processing the fact that she's even here. Then, Waguri gently apologizes for running away yesterday. She asks him to eat the cake and consider it her apology. But as Rintaro looks at her, he realizes she's literally drooling at the sight of the cake. He tells her, you can eat it instead. Waguri hesitates for like half a second, then gives in. She can't resist the temptation. She dives into the cake and finishes it in seconds. Once it's gone, she looks up, cheeks full, and quickly apologizes again for eating it. It's chaotic, it's adorable, and honestly, it's the beginning of something really sweet. After finishing the cake, Waguri introduces herself with a shy smile. Then she asks Rintaro to introduce himself too. But Rintaro's just standing there, kind of frozen, thinking, why would a girl this cute want to know about me? Waguri then quietly mumbles, so now I know your name. Rintaro tilts his head, confused. What do you mean by that? Waguri gets all flustered, her face turning red as she fidgets and replies, well, I've seen you before, sometimes helping out at the bakery, so I got curious. Rintaro's a little stunned, but still manages to ask, then why did you run away yesterday? Waguri blushes even harder and says, because no guy has ever stared at me like that before, and I was too shy to handle it. For a second, Rintaro just stands there in disbelief. He genuinely can't believe it, that his face, the one people usually run from, could actually make someone feel something other than fear. As Rintaro looks at Waguri's blushing face, he feels his own cheeks heat up. He's blushing too. Panicking a little, he quickly says, it's getting dark. I'll walk you to the station. But Waguri just smiles and says she wants to buy a few more cakes first. Ultimately, she gently refuses his offer, saying it's nearby and she'll be fine. As she starts to walk away, she turns back and tells Rintaro, I never found you scary. That moment hits hard. But neither of them notices the two guys from earlier are watching them. And they're not happy. Jealous, angry, petty, whatever it is. They decide to take revenge on Rintaro by hurting Waguri. Suddenly, Rintaro's door swings open. Whack! Right into his head. His mom walks in holding a cake. She tells him, this is what Waguri just bought. I found it out on the street while I was closing the shop. Rintaro doesn't even wait for more details. He bolts out of the house, heart pounding, mind racing. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, the two guys from earlier have cornered Waguri. They're closing in, inch by inch. Waguri stands frozen, nervous, her voice trembling. Please let me go. Back to Rintaro. He's panicking. He's running everywhere, checking corners, scanning streets, but he can't find her. Then, out of nowhere, he hears a voice. His whole body locks onto the sound. He sprints toward it and finds them. The two guys are standing over Waguri, smirking. They're saying, so what, you're dating him now? Waguri shakes her head. No, I'm not. They laugh. Of course not. No girl would go out with someone that scary. Rintaro's just standing there, frozen, listening. And in that moment, he accepts it. He's always been seen as scary. He's heard it his whole life. He knows there's no way to stop people from spreading rumors, no matter how false they are. But then, Waguri speaks up. She looks them straight in the eye and says, Rintaro's not a bad person. You shouldn't judge him based on gossip. Waguri doesn't stop there. She looks at them one more time and says, but you should stop talking bad about him behind his back. That hits a nerve. One of the guys snaps and throws a punch straight at Waguri. But before it can land, Rintaro steps in. He takes the punch full force, slamming backward into a metal shutter. The impact rings out, and he starts bleeding from his head. Then Rintaro slowly looks up, blood dripping down his face, and he stares directly at them. Without saying another word, they run, terrified. And then suddenly, Waguri rushes toward Rintaro, trying to wipe the blood off his face. She looks really concerned, hurt that he got injured because of her. But Rintaro calmly tells her, it's not your fault. I could have stopped the punch if I wanted to, but I didn't. He apologizes for not trusting her when she was so sincere, and for putting someone as kind as her through something so frightening. In response, Waguri looks up at him and softly says, I still don't understand why people think someone as kind as you is scary. He then walks Waguri to the station, gently telling her to be careful on the way home. She thanks him for saving her, and just as he turns to leave, she calls out, I'll come to the shop again soon, and next time, we should have cake together. Rintaro walks home with a quiet smile. The next day, Rintaro arrives at school really early. He couldn't sleep last night, not with everything that had just happened. Bored, he starts staring at Kikyo High's building from across the schoolyard, something he's never really done before. Then he notices something strange. Someone is opening the curtains. He's curious. He's never seen those curtains open before. And then he sees Waguri's face. Panicked, he instantly pulls his classroom curtains shut. His heart's racing as he remembers she's from Kikyo High, the school that hates guys like me.